Yo, what's up YouTube? How we doing? How's everybody? Yeah, this video I want to talk about 2XKO and my thoughts. It's been a few days. I've had to play it. I've played this game at many different levels, and just want to talk about this, just the overall game, my thoughts, so forth like that. But what should I do? Full screen? And I have some of the footage behind me. I mean, I could show some of that. Talk a little bit about, just things. But yeah, there's the game. There's the lobby system. So it's very early. This is the alpha lab, right? So with the alpha lab, it's a very early test. Whoop, sorry. And like the lobby is cool. It's cute. Very reminiscent of Street Fighter. It's kind of cool. And lobbies are neat. I like, a lobby I can get my community in and stuff like that. So things, like I said, it's early alpha lab, but, maybe in the future, I'd love to see something called Forever King that was like in Mortal Kombat, where like, hey, people want to play me. And sometimes people are really good. Sometimes people are not as good. Sometimes people want to play me and then some guy comes in and he's a monster and then he owns the lobby. And I'm like, yeah, so it's kind of tough. So, I'm pretty sure that will be addressed and added into the game like that. But the features of being able to look at people's games, it's awesome. The whole, and I'm pretty sure it's going to change, right? But like when you're in the lobby looking for a game, I like how it pairs you up. But to me, there's going to be just times where I just want to hit matchmake and put me in practice mode until I find a match. And that's what I would like to, of course the lobby systems are great. It's a neat place to hang out. But I just sometimes I just want to like Street Fighter or MK, especially with Street Fighter, to allow me to just lab until I find a game, whether it could be whether it could be casual or ranked. I think that'd be awesome. But overall, like my thoughts on the game, it's incredibly fun. It's a very fun game. But here's where I'm going to be real. Here's where I'll be real. The game is degenerate. And I don't mean that in any kind of bad way. I mean that this game is like nasty, right? This game is, basically what I mean is like, if you don't really know what you're doing, and it could be overwhelming. I mean, the pulse system is pretty good. Pulse system is actually good. In the beginning, I was getting bopped because you just start hitting buttons and you're confirming all the time, and it's actually a good. I thought it wasn't going to be as good, but people with pulse were really kind of doing good, and but like it's still like I think I just needed a little bit more time, because in the beginning some pulse people were beating me up, and then I had some more time, and yeah, I was doing much better. But I'm telling you, the game is mad overwhelming, and that's and I'm a pretty decent fighting game player, and there's just times where I feel like I don't get to play, and but it just seems like, hey, this fighting game was made for the FGC and all this stuff, which I think is great. I think all that stuff is awesome, but we are kind of in a new generation, right? This is kind of like that. I mean, this is like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Ultimate. Very, it could be very overwhelming, right? And the thing is, I think this game will be fantastic for the FGC, but with a game like this, it has to capture new people, right? It has the potential because it has amazing visuals, godlike animations, beautiful just game overall. But the thing is, the league people, once they start playing and they're playing against FGC people, it's not that fun. It's not that fun to get into a game and not play. So, and that's what happens a lot. Like, even if you're blocking, there's so much pressure. And then, you block, well, guess what? The guy comes in and throws, but you have a very small window to break that throw or to interrupt with like a combo. That's why sometimes pulse is good, because if you just block, and then you could just kind of start mashing, because if they go for the throw, you'd be able to interrupt. But like, it is a very fast-paced very wild game, and it could be overwhelming. It could be overwhelming. And, you know, fighting games have a lot of competition now. And of course, like, you know, you play Call of Duty, you play any other kind of competitive game, they're all very sweaty. But the thing is, too, it's like, we're in competition, right? Fighting games back in the day was a different story. When I was growing up in the Marvel 2 days and some of those days, you know, that's what you had. You wanted to compete against other people. It was fighting games. There was not that many other games that offered as much competition as fighting games. But now there's so many different types of games that people like, I want to be really good. So fighting games have to compete. So does that mean like we have to cater to casuals? Well, kind of. I mean, to be honest, like, we need to get people like more into fighting games. And this game is amazing, but it is wild. Like, if let's say, hey, I'm a League player, I want to play this, right? And you get in the Alpha Lab, and people from the Alpha Lab are from Evo and super hardcore fighting game fans, you're not going to be doing much, right? So I think what's going to have to happen is this game's going to have one hell of a matching system, of a rank system, because you need to play people around your skill level, or else it's just going to be like, what am I even doing? You know, like, this looks cool. So it could either be that, or the game has to come out with some awesome single player content for you to earn points, way to earn skins, you know, fun challenges. Because in my time of the FGC, I'm streaming and stuff like that, but I've worked other jobs. I've worked in the gaming industry, and we had friends, and they would love Injustice. They would love Mortal Kombat. They would do the story, but they're like, hell nah, I don't want to play this game online. Like, I want to play against my other friends that are my same skill level, but I'm like, there's no way. I don't want to go online. Online is crazy. And there's a lot of people like that. And I think, you know, for this game to be successful and to get more people to get to a point where they are good, yeah, it's going to take, they're going to have to, like, not get washed, right? Because let's say, hey, I want to play, right? Oh yeah, and I think a few other games have said, like, hey, the first thing to do is get 10 wins, and most of the time when you're playing against people who've gotten 10 wins, so that's going to be probably something. But it's going to really need a good matchmaking system or some good single player content, because at times I'm like, dude, when do I get to push a button? It feels like I'm just not playing most of the time, and it feels like they're just running up to me and swinging, and I'm sitting there, you know, waiting for my turn. So I think that's kind of really an important thing for this game. And the game is very intense. Lots of just so many mechanics that it's kind of wild. Like, and here's like my kind of like opinion, right? Like, the game is degenerate, and of course, you know, Riot makes these games that are tough to get into. But like, for me, I think a good free-to-play game would be something like Tekken, right? Where it doesn't feel like, whenever I play Tekken, like, maybe I'll play some harangues or some people, and it feels like I don't really get to do much, but nothing to the point of this game when I'm playing somebody that's really good, right? Like, Tekken is kind of a game where you can push buttons, and you can start to have fun. And even if you're playing against someone really good, it just doesn't really feel like that. Like, you know, it's got to be something, I think, with a little bit more back and forth. And with that said, like, you know, we could talk about the combos. The combos, they're awesome. There's a lot of just routes. There's a lot of fluidity. It is fantastic, but some of them might go on for a little too long, to be honest. You know, of course, you get to break every once in a while, but a lot of the times you're just kind of stuck in these giant combos, and you're just sitting there like, well, it'll be my turn eventually. And some of them are really cool. yeah, I think, you know, they're a little too long, right? And right now we're getting touches of TODs, and TODs are neat, but I think some of them look a little too easy. Like, right, to get TODs in some other games, you're really like working at it. And I think some of them that I've seen are just kind of a little too easy, and they just really revolve around double down and so forth like that. And yeah, like even in some other games, like you know, like there have been TODs, you really got to earn them. And like I said, it's Alpha Lab, right? So hey, maybe they kind of miss these, like, but I don't know. I just TODs. It's just like, hey, thanks for playing. I mean, me personally, like, you know, I used to play, you know, Marvel 2, and like, you know, all the people started playing Magneto, Storm, and Sentinel. I had Cable, Psylocke, and Cyclops to try to hold my own. And after a while, I'm just like, I just want to play low tier. And then like my friend Trent, we would just go to the arcade and play low tier, and it was a lot more fun because a lot low tier, you're still doing cool combos, you're still doing like awesome pressure, you're still doing stuff, but the combos are like boom, boom, boom. You do some like nice kind of combos, and then it's done, and then you go back to fight and stuff like that. It's more of a back and forth. And I think games with these extra long combos and these TODs really just make it more of a one-player game. And you know, I have a friend who likes one-player games, but I like a good back and forth. I like a scrap. And sometimes, you know, it just feels like it's that person's turn all the time. So, but I love the game. It's incredibly fun. And I think where the game really shines, and you can see right there, is two-player mode. Two-player mode, I have so much more fun playing with my friends. I teamed up here with Simmons, and once you start getting synergy with your friend, it's so much more fun. And I have a blast. Of course, like, you know, single player is fun as well, but like I played with Steve, and we're like, okay, tag me in. Okay, assist. Here you go. I'm doing another assist, like, you know, with 2x. And it's awesome. I play with Curious Joy, and that was a lot of fun. And sometimes you goof, but then your friend carries. I think this game really shines in the two-player aspect of it. And it's nice to see two different play styles come together and, you know, just teaming up. I love it, you know. And I think that's literally my favorite mode, is just playing with a friend and, you know, going at it. And it's a special... It's, you know what, it's great too because it hasn't really happened that much in video games, so it's a lot of fun just to go in there with your buddy and, you know, take on another team. Because even if you're not playing, you're the assist, you can come out and assist, and you can, there's a lot of fun to be had. But what else can I say about the game? It's fun. There's a lot of mechanics, a lot of buttons. Now, I'm an old guy, so easy inputs, they're cool, but it makes the game a very big, a lot of buttons, right? You're gonna have basically your 6-button fighters: light, medium, heavy, special 1, special 2, then tag. Then, you know, you definitely want to macro a throw because you need to do some good pressure, and then you want to macro a parry. And I still barely even use parry, but yeah, so that's a lot of buttons, man. And just me, you know, I'm just, it's sometimes I get overwhelming, and your button scheme, it just seems like, you know, everybody's gonna have a different button scheme for this game, right? I think this game is gonna do well, exceptionally well on pad, but it's just like everyone's gonna play this differently. With a special, like with the button layout. But yeah, I mean, it's really fun. There's me assisting, and what I would have to think, it's just like things that I'd probably do is just maybe shorten the combos. Who knows? Maybe just really tone down the damage and just make it a 1-round fighter. Yeah, but then I don't know if you'd get all the specials. I think the game has got to go back and cook a little bit more. And not to say the game is like whatever. I think they just need to fine tune. I think they really need to do some fine tuning on the systems. let's say on the damage on those TODs, because all FGC people love TODs, like, oh yeah, TODs and stuff, but sometimes they're just not fun to be in, right? And even if you're doing them, you're kind of like doing a combo, and I've been here for a while. Okay, like some of the combos are just taking a little too long, and it's just like, some of them are really interesting, some of them are just like, yeah, I think, but here's the thing, we all want, it's kind of tough. This is why I'm not a game developer. I was at one point, but it's kind of tough to find a balance. Of course the game should have sauce and really cool stuff. I love it, but it also, I think it just, when the game combos are way too long and stuff like that, it just really feels like, okay, I'm going to be put into this combo, I'm going to put in this combo, and I'm dead. And why I go back to Tekken, because Tekken is kind of like more of a scrap. Sheesh, you just got knocked down, you got back up, this person's going, and like, it's more of a back and forth, and this game can get overwhelming. Dang, that was awesome. Did we win? No, we lost. There's a lot of good tracking, but yeah, I love it. The game, gorgeous. The music's godlike. The animation, outstanding. It's a beautiful game to look at. The colors, like, I'm really excited to play more of this. I want more heroes. I want more skins. Like, I'm really excited for the game. But what else would I say? Like, yeah, sometimes it can feel like you're overwhelmed. I know I've said it multiple times, but like, sometimes it feels like, when do I get to push buttons? And there's a lot of times where, it feels like you don't. But overall, I think the game is great. I think it's a lot of fun. I think there needs to be a middle ground, because a lot of times what people in the FGC just kind of forget is fighting games are kind of for everybody, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we have to like make a fighting game so easy, or make it brain dead or whatever, but like, there are certain things that we kind of have to watch out for, and because we want more people in this community. And I think that sometimes, like, we just forget that. Sometimes we just want these one-player fighting games. We just like, nope, we want to go in and like, oh, you want to play? And just like, you're just getting mashed. And I think the game is close. The game is fire. It's fun. But what would I say? Like, yeah, maybe just watch out for some of those TODs. Pulse is good. Pulse is kind of strong. It allows you to get in there and start hitting buttons and doing cool things. But yeah, like, I talked to a couple of other content creators that are not like so big in the fighting game world, and they're like, dude, this game was wow, like overwhelming. And yeah, like, let's say another free-to-play game, Multiverses, right? It's kind of a smash. Like, the time I've played that, there hasn't been a time where I felt like I don't get to play this game. I've gotten to feel that here, where I'm like, geez, when do I get to hit a button? I'm gonna try to hit a button. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, because if they tone it down too much, people are gonna be like, man, I remember when it was so much fun. If they don't tone it down, they could lose a good amount of audience. And I think the beautiful thing is a balance where the game, like I said, there's easy. The game has easy like moves, but the game is not easy. Like, to do some of these combos, especially the Yasuo combos. Is like do a combo, stance switch immediately, then do another move really quick in a matter of a few frames. But yeah, overall, I'm having a blast. I think the game is fun. But yeah, see, like there's the Ari combo that's just kind of like doom 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 doom. Oh, and then I guess to my last point, right? Because these combos are so long. One of the best fighting games to deal with like extra long combos is Killer Instinct. Because Killer Instinct is a game where you're always playing. Even if you're getting in these big giant combos, well, here's the mind game. Do I go for a break? Does he know I'm gonna break? So even when, you know, you're getting, you know, in a, 60 hit combo, you have a chance to break. And that person's gonna also be thinking, while I'm doing this combo, will they break? It's a game that's going on at all times. And some of these combos that are so long, you're just like, well, my meter's coming up. Well, I guess I gotta wait for my meter. So yeah, so especially with a game with the long combos, and I don't know, I'd like to see what they do with the feedback. I just know that maybe if they tone down or make some of the TODs or something like that, some people will be upset. They're like, oh man, you know, I remember when I used to just, you know, and I'm like, and here's another, like, last thing before I go. Like, me and Steve, we'll play a lot of fighting games, right? And I don't think a lot of people do it. A lot of people don't care. But if we played MK and somebody, we could see that the person's obviously new or doesn't really know what they're doing, we don't go out their way. I don't go out my way to, like, destroy them. And I'm like, oh, there's a new person. Yeah, take that, you noob. Because it's just not fun. And it's like, I want them to play this game. Not everybody's like that. Like, you know, when I play Mortal Kombat and I see somebody and their record is like, you know, 10 wins and 60 losses, I'm not picking my main. I'm picking like a secondary or third character and just learning. But there are a lot of people that don't care. They're like, oh yeah, you got a bad win record? Well, get ready to eat dirt, scumbag. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I just want people to play more fighting games and so forth like that. In this game, it's hard to tell. Hey, I don't know if this person's like super really good or not, because there's no like win record before. But yeah, I think the game's great. I think it needs a little time to tweak and find the good ground of like damage. You know, we want stylistic combos, but I just don't really want them to, like, you know, 30-second combos and so forth like that. I mean, it's I don't know, there's times where it's kind of cool, you know, like especially like with Cyrax, but like, I don't know, but like not everybody has it, and like it's really like it I mean, here's the thing, even like some of the combos here, like they are a bit difficult, especially with Yasuo. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I have to say. I'm trying to feel like the game is close. And if the game does have long combos, I think they gotta be really kind of wild. Like they gotta be like, you know, instead of like where she does that thing kind of like over and over again, like she's got to do like, and I know there's like other people that are doing it and it's still early, but like I think they gotta be, some of the long ones, if they do, are a little flashy, because like Brahms combos like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's kind of like the same thing a couple of times. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my input, if that makes sense, guys. If to anyone on the 2XKO team watching, you guys have killed it. The game, gorgeous. Music, gorgeous. Animation's gorgeous. It's a lot of fun, but it is overwhelming. Now, I know I'm saying you have to cater directly to casuals, but the game's gotta be a little bit open, because it is overwhelming, and it's even overwhelming for pros, especially with so many buttons. If you just want to say, you know what, we're gonna be degenerate, I hope you guys have some kind of a single player option, because there's a lot of people that love fighting games. They absolutely love them, but they don't want to play online. And that I could understand. There's certain games where, hey, that was me. That was me in Warzone. Like I used to play Warzone, I love it. And then I'm just playing and it's just, and putting me in these lobbies and people are drop shotting and people are like this and that. I'm just like, dude, I just want to play the game, right? And some people just don't have that time to go in and really get just dirty at fighting games, right? And yeah, like I don't know what they'll have to do. Just to maybe a really good rank system, really good single player experience. Because yeah, like I just stopped playing. I think a lot of people just stopped playing COD because it's just like, it feels like I'm playing at the final championships, and I just want to like kind of like get together with my friends and just, you know, fight some people around my skill level. So I'm hoping that this game does some really good stuff with skill matchmaking. I hope they just tune it down, maybe just a tad. Maybe not these super long combos. And like, if there's a TOD, I think it's got to be something where you're like, God dang, how in the hell did he do that? Because that's like one frame, and that's, yeah, I think TOD's kind of got to be earned. Yeah, because, yeah, not that many people want to get TOD'd all the time. But anyways, guys, that's it. I guess that's all I have to say right now. I'll probably come out with like another final thoughts or something like that after I had a discussion with Max and some of the crew and everything like that. I think the game's great. I don't know. My perfect fighting game for me, chat, would be something like low tier Marvel, right? Where it's a much more back and forth. I think low tier Marvel's way more creative than like top tier, even though what you're doing in top tier Marvel 2 is insane, and it's the people that are doing it are out of control, right? There should absolutely be execution in fighting games, 100%. We should never kind of just try to be like, oh yeah, right? Like I said, even if this game has easy commands, there's still a lot of execution. With that said, like, I don't know, I just like a game that's more back and forth, the more back and forth scrap, as opposed to like this person's just gonna like put this person in a block string forever. I know you have tools like push block and all these other kind of things, but there's a lot of them, a lot. But anyways, guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys think about the game as well. I'd love to know your thoughts. And you know, if you think like me, or you're like, nah, just keep it degenerate, and you know, yeah, you know, I think there's got to be a good middle ground. I think there's just got to be something good. I mean, the game is gorgeous. It's going to sell. It's a lot of people, but the thing is, it's got to, like, people gotta stay. And from what I heard, like, a lot of League players are like, yeah, nah, you know, and it makes sense because right now there's not a lot of people for them to play besides the hardcore FGC people, and they're just, you know, geez. So we'll see. I hope that one day that they have a open lab and they have like a good ranking system so people can really play people on their same skill level, so then they can have these good matches, because that's how you kind of grow, right? You're not going to really grow if you're fighting, you know, the best players and you're sitting there like, well, whatever. You kind of have to fight people around your skill level and to learn to get in these combos, right? Because you can practice combos, sure, but what you really got to do is learn to put people in those combos. That's right, because a lot of people are just like, no, you need to learn how to get people in the combos. So yeah. Well, anyways, guys, that's been my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys later. I'll probably be streaming this game right now. So if you're watching, you know, I'm on Twitch. And if you guys like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. Peace.